The scent of lavender and old paper wrapped around Eleanor like a familiar shawl as she sat by the window, the afternoon sun casting long shadows across the worn Persian rug in her living room. Outside, the vibrant hues of her meticulously tended garden contrasted sharply with the muted tones of the photographs scattered on the antique table beside her, snapshots of a life lived with enthusiasm, now softened by the gentle filter of time. Eleanor was 82, a fact that sometimes surprised her when she glimpsed her reflection. The youthful spirit within often felt at odds with the lines etched around her eyes and the slight tremor in her hands. She had discovered that aging wasn't the swift, dramatic decline often depicted in the media. It was a gradual unfolding, a slow peeling back of layers that revealed both the fragility and the enduring strength of the human spirit. It involved navigating a landscape where familiar landmarks shifted, where the body, once a reliable ally, began to issue gentle and sometimes not so gentle reminders of its finite nature. One of the earliest realities Eleanor faced was the subtle erosion of her physical independence. The brisk morning walks that had once been her ritual now required conscious effort, with her knees protesting in dull aches. The jars in the pantry, once easily twisted open, now demanded a gadget or a neighbor's stronger grip. This was a humbling experience for a woman who had taken pride in her self-sufficiency. Yet, within this vulnerability, Eleanor found unexpected grace. She learned to accept help and rely on the kindness of others, forging deeper connections with her community in the process. The world around her seemed to be accelerating while she moved at a more deliberate pace. Technology, once a fascinating novelty, now felt like a constantly evolving puzzle. Her grandchildren spoke a language peppered with acronyms and digital slang that often left her bemused. The rapid-fire news cycle and the constant barrage of information could feel overwhelming. But Eleanor, a lifelong learner, found quiet joy in bridging this gap. Her grandson, Leo, patiently taught her how to video call her faraway friends, and in return, she shared stories of a world where letters were the primary form of long-distance communication, offering a different perspective on connection. The loss of contemporaries was another poignant reality of aging. Friends who had shared decades of laughter, tears, and milestones began to fade away, leaving a void that no new acquaintance could entirely fill. The shared history, the unspoken understanding, the comfortable silences, these were irreplaceable. Grief became a familiar companion, a dull ache that resurfaced with each passing. Yet, Eleanor found solace in the memories, in the stories she kept alive, and in the enduring bonds she had forged. She became a keeper of histories, sharing anecdotes and lessons learned with the younger generations, ensuring that the spirits of her loved ones lived on. Aging was not merely about limitations and loss, it also brought a profound sense of liberation. The relentless pursuit of societal expectations began to diminish. The pressure to prove oneself, to advance in one's career, and to keep pace with others gradually waned. Eleanor discovered a newfound freedom in simply being present and savoring the small joys of each day, the warmth of the sun on her skin, the taste of a perfectly ripe tomato from her garden, and the melody of a familiar song. Time, which had once felt like a relentless taskmaster, now seemed to stretch out with a different quality. There was less urgency and more space for reflection. Eleanor rediscovered passions she'd set aside in her younger years, painting watercolors, reading poetry, and listening to classical music. She joined a book club, rekindled old friendships, and even took a pottery class, where her slightly shaky hands found a new form of expression. The wisdom that came with age was another unexpected gift. Life's trials and tribulations had etched valuable lessons onto her soul. She learned the importance of resilience, the power of forgiveness, and the profound beauty of imperfection. Her grandchildren often sought her advice, not just for practical matters, but also for navigating the complexities of life and love. Eleanor also gained a unique perspective on the present. Having witnessed so much change, she developed a deeper appreciation for life's simple constants, the unwavering love of her family, the beauty of the natural world, and the enduring power of human connection. She learned to live more fully in the moment, savoring the present without getting overly caught up in anxieties about the future or regrets about the past. Her relationship with her body also evolved. While she acknowledged its limitations, she marveled at its resilience and the decades of service it had faithfully provided. She embraced gentle forms of exercise, nourished her body with wholesome food, and treated it with kindness and respect. It was no longer about chasing an elusive ideal of youthfulness, but rather cherishing the vessel that carried her through life. Eleanor reflected on the most significant positive aspect of aging, the deepening of her spiritual life. The questions of meaning and purpose began to resonate in new ways. She found comfort in her faith, in quiet contemplation, and in recognizing the interconnectedness of all things. The fear of the unknown diminished as she came to terms with the natural cycle of life and death, approaching it with acceptance and even anticipation of what lay beyond. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a golden light across the garden, Eleanor picked up an old photograph. It captured her and her late husband, Arthur, when they were young and vibrant, their faces full of hope and dreams. A gentle smile graced her lips. Although she felt a pang of longing, it was softened by the warmth of cherished memories. Aging undeniably brings its own challenges, losses, and the inevitability of slowing down. However, it is also a time of profound beauty, unexpected freedoms, deepening wisdom, and a richer appreciation for life's simple gifts. This chapter of life should be embraced rather than feared, serving as a testament to the enduring strength and adaptability of the human spirit. As Eleanor gazed out at her flourishing garden, a vibrant tapestry woven with the threads of time, she understood that just like the seasons, life has its own natural rhythm, with each stage offering its unique beauty and purpose. In this acceptance, she discovered a profound and enduring peace.